Hello, welcome to the Buddha Brunch. I am Ned Kelley. Today, very special guests. It is one of my improv long-form teams. Lyn, get out of the ball pit. I'm going to do a quick pan around so you can see each and every one of them.
Hi there, I'm Caitlynn Davidson.
There's Caitlynn.
I'm Adam Dworkis.
Adam Dworkis.
I'm James Hilburn.
And James Hilburn. Buddha Brunch is a show where we talk a lot about creativity, spirituality, art, and today we're going to talk about the art of improv and possibly connect it to spirituality. So I'm going to find out from each of my friends here your religious upbringing just to start and what you consider yourself now. For me, I was raised agnostic, totally clean slate, and now I would consider myself a Buddhist Christian, or maybe a Christian Buddhist.
I was raised Christian, just straight Christian, not Baptist, not Catholic, not anything like that. And so I guess Protestant. And now I would still consider myself a Christian. However, I definitely take a more, I guess, interesting view on how I interpret everything in that avenue, and more think about the spirituality as opposed to the literal context.
I was raised Christian, kind of bounced around a little bit, although the majority of like my church growing up was at Unity Village, way out in BFE, and I always noticed that Dad never came to church, and I learned, around when I would have been in the 3rd or 4th or 5th grade, that Dad was Jewish, and that's why he didn't come to church, and Mom obviously wasn't. And as I went kind of further through my high school experience, I kind of started feeling less Christian. Like I liked the idea of Christian stories and teachings, but I lost the idea that that Christ would have been the only Son of God. I kind of gravitated towards an idea that we're all children of God, and then I started identifying more with the Jewish principles that I was learning about, and so now I identify as Jewish, partly for superficial reasons. I look like a damned rabbi.
Mazel tov.
Mazel. And partly kind of to identify with my dad.
So I didn't know that you were raised going to Unity Village Chapel?
Absolutely.
I go to Unity Village Chapel, amongst other places. I didn't even know that about you, Adam.
We stopped doing that really young. We probably stopped going to Unity Village regularly before I was 9 years old.
Wow. Jesus being the only begotten Son of God, because that's certainly not what I would call a unity teaching.
Sure.
Kind of the opposite of unity belief system.
Born and raised Roman Catholic, like super Irish Catholic. Went through Catholic school, and after I graduated from high school, I just didn't go so much for the Catholic way up. My wife and I are married in the Unitarian Church.
Wow, Unitarian.
And I am actually an ordained minister from online, and I have performed 3 weddings.
Adam, what are some of the benefits? What do you get out of doing improv?
I really like the story building exercise, because I also write. I've got a couple of books of poetry, and then I've got like some pretty big storytelling projects that I'm working on. I always learn new things. And I always kind of get new ideas about how to progress a story and how to build a story, and those are things that they're like muscles, and I like to constantly work those so that then maybe I can take some of those ideas and some of those notions back to my desk and back to my journals, and that'll help me build stories. Plus it's just a lot of fun.
I love making people laugh. I love the crowd reaction when I can either get them to really hate me or really love my character, or make them feel awkward, whatever it is. If I can make the audience feel a reaction to my character, then I enjoy that. But I really like becoming other characters, because if you become a committed character, committed to an idea, then you really only have to think about one thing. And somehow that is hilarious. If you get a character that is fully committed to one idea and will do anything to accomplish it, that is fun. And I like that.
I like the feeling of play. I like the idea that whatever someone introduces in a scene, I can kind of become a free radical and just kind of, with physicality, and just actually kind of like go and try things and just really live in the moment and enjoy the heck out of the scene.
Well, that's a really good question, Ned. For me, I have found more and more that the improv training, the practice exercise, getting together and workshopping, as Adam said, it's more than just a exercise. It's a spiritual benefit for me. It's a form of meditation, a form of letting go of attachments, being fully immersed in the now moment, and paying attention to the physical, emotional, spiritual nowness. Hey, Caitlynn, why do you think Lyn Get Out of the Ball Pit seems to work so well together?
I think it's because we took the time to become friends so that we could connect to each other and understand how each other's minds work, as opposed to just kind of trying to play off the principles of improv. We actually took the time to get to know the other people and know who they are, and their references, what they're going to understand, what they're not going to understand. And so I think just really taking the time to get to know one another helped us make good on-stage chemistry as well.
I'm interested in how different we all are, and at kind of very different moments at our lives, like Caitlin's getting ready to re-embark on a new career, James kind of the family dude, and I'm kind of usually hopping from lily pad of disaster to lily pad of disaster. Ned, and we're all very proud of Ned.
It's great.
What I was getting to is something that it seemed like we learned really quickly, just from shorthand, just from talking to each other, is like, oh wait, all of these guys have been doing this. Like, we've done it. James has been doing improv since he was 16. I've been doing it since I was 16. Caitlynn, had her group in college, has been doing it forever. We've all done tons and tons of theater. Ned's has like at least 4 other groups that he cheats on us with. And so we're kind of lucky that we got put together, so we should toy with this and we should explore it. And so we started workshopping pretty early on. I mean, I don't think we've gone more than 10 days without meeting up. And that's the thing, showing up. Like, we keep on doing it and we keep on making it happen. And I think a lot of that has to do with that sort of instantaneous respect that we recognized at that first meeting.
One of the things I've noticed about this group, as opposed to other groups that I've worked with, was a lot of the other groups I've worked with kind of centered around Comedy City or in the improv scene, like as kind of like a subgroup to an improv scene, where one of the first things I've noticed that we've done is we've kind of moved away from that and just kind of kept our thing going. So I was like, hey, we're not doing the improv fight club because we're just getting together ourselves.
Right, we just do our own
so
thing.
it kind of fills that need that we were looking for, and it's a little bit outsidery. Like, I've done, hung out with folks, we did our improv, and then other, improv people kind of came, and it's not. You kind of lose that feeling of just like the four of you who are doing it.
Willingness to accept each other and support each other. There's just a lot of immediate support and acceptance, both on the stage, in our improv games and practice, and when we're just hanging out. There's a whole lot of yes and. And number 2 is our dedication. We all want this to work. We're really committed to making this work. Well, thanks for that, Ned. Let's talk about spirituality.
Improv definitely keeps me present. You're definitely active listening and being very accepting and open to the people around you, which I think is a good part of spirituality. And personally, what I think, which I gained from my acting classes, not necessarily improv, but when I was more so leaning towards scripted acting, was the practice of being present, and always listening and being actively there and in the moment. And I learned this phrase from my theater professor, and I've adapted it to myself in a spiritual way, as it's kind of, I guess, would be my mantra, is breathe in truth, send out love. So only take in what is really true. What you really have to take in. You know, you don't have to take in all the negativity and the things that are just kind of fear or hysteria or thoughts that you have that are just unnecessary. Just only take in the truth and then send out positivity and love into the world around you, and that will keep you present and keep you whole.
The more you think, the worse it is. You know, and the more you allow yourself, like the more I allow myself when I'm performing, to get out of my own way and kind of let a story evolve. And it's definitely coming from what I've listened to and what I'm receiving from my partners, but it's also just being, you know, spun up in my voice and my body kind of in spite of myself. And it's that spontaneity and that looseness that kind of reminds me that I'm able to act and behave without just using my ego as a guide. I can receive what's happening around me and act accordingly in a way that enriches all of the people around me, and is not necessarily coming from like a place of like thoughtfulness or a place of attachment, you know, where I'm trying to move the interactions or the action on stage, you know, in an improv scene. I'm not trying to like willfully move it towards a certain direction, but kind of letting a kind of destination find itself.
Yeah, I'm an adult. There's a lot of responsibility I have in my life. There's a lot of stress. And doing improv for me gives me that little bit of time where I can truly play and find that kind of joy that you had when you were a kid. You know, that just pure, unadulterated, okay, just let it all go. And kind of what Adam says is just let kind of things come to you and accept it. And, you know, just like some of the clown training I've taken, it's like, what are the things the audience wants to see? What makes you a good, you know, clown? And it is honesty, like the emotions that you feel, like play them out to the est, whatever the most that it could be, and just like kind of lose yourself in it and kind of feel where it takes you and what kind of characters you become, and just enjoy. You know, it's like just a little bit of time that you can really kind of just let loose and play and just find that kind of little happiness, that spark.
That was all correct. Good job, guys. That was right. That was the right answer. LGOBP. How did Lyn Get Out of the Ball Pit get its name?
Our warm-ups one evening, we play Where Have Your Fingers Been and 7 Things. Where Have Your Fingers Been is a 3-line scenes. 7 things, you say the first 7 things that come to mind. Ned's mom became a very favorite answer for both all of the 7 things and for Where Have Your Fingers Been. And so eventually...
In a good way.
Yes, very positively. It was fantastic. So as we are referring to Ned's mom, if at some point it was said, Ned's mom, get out of the ball pit. And for some reason, the way it was said and everything about it was fantastic.
Oh no, I remember
so we
this.
had
I know
to
the
stop.
answer to this.
Oh, okay.
I know the answer to this.
Yeah, I
know the answer to this. It was during a session of Where Have Your Fingers Been, and Ned's mom had come up several times, and then I got the suggestion that I'm in a ball pit.
Or Chuck E. Cheese.
That Chuck E. Cheese, right. And so I played it out.
And you knew my mom's, or you asked, what's your mom's name?
We asked, because he said Ned's mom, get out of the ball pit, and I was like, wait a minute,
And
what is your mom's name?
Yeah, and so I made that the 3rd line reveal in my 3-line scene was like, wait, is Lyn down here somewhere? You know, and it was like the Star Wars trash compactor kind of thing. But,
the mystery revealed.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Get Out of the Ball Pit first was one of the lines. They were like, oh, let's throw a Lyn.
let's make it specific.
So who has any closing thoughts? Anything we didn't include that should be included in this Buddha Brunch session today?
Your experience is not wrong.
Beautiful.
I do have 2 collections of poetry and short prose. The first is called 6 Million Cigarettes in a Pen. The second is called Eon's Curve. And my third, which I am continually in the process of finishing, is called Dark Mistress of the Light. As soon as I have that done, I'm planning on doing reprintings of all 3. So, well, not a reprinting of
Where can-
because it'll be the first.
Where can they find your stuff?
So right now, I've got several kind people that put my books on shelves. Prospero's bookstore is always a good place to find them on 39th and Bell. The Art Factory at Prairie Fire will always put my books on their shelves.
These are all in Kansas City.
So Prairie Fire is in. It's like on the border between Olathe and
You know, I have an international audience.
You have an international audience. So
gotta
this
be
is
specific.
all in the Kansas City metro area.
Yeah. You have been watching Buddha Brunch. If you have enjoyed this program, please consider visiting www.nedkelley.net. You can subscribe there. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel you are watching now, Ned Kelley Video. Like Buddha Brunch on Facebook. And the most fun, exciting thing you can do is go to patreon.com/Ned Kelley and throw in $1 or $2 there. It's a really fun way to support this type of creative expression. Now, here's something we can all plug. Coming up in just about a week or so. How long until our first...
It is a week from
July
Saturday.
9th.
It's July 9th.
Saturday, July 9th, Thunderdome at the Kick Comedy Theater. You will see these fine, cool cats.
And this beautiful man.
Love it. Do it.
Come to Thunderdome.
Thanks for watching. Namaste, y'all.
Ned, get out of the frame.